On Something to Talk About, we meet up with a dear friend, actor, director, and all-around great guy on and off the stage. Today, he talks to us about his latest venture, Miss Saigon. Join us as we talk about this production on Guam with Ernest Ochoco on Something to Talk About. Welcome to Something to Talk About. Here we are at King's Restaurant in Tamuning, and I am here with my friend Ernest Ochoco, the director, producer, I don't know, Broadway guy.
Broadway guy. That's my new name.
Is everything like Broadway you do? Is there anything you not do?
No, most of them have been on Broadway.
Yeah.
Like at least 98% of it has been on Broadway,
Yeah.
right? There's very few.
It sounds like that. I just feel like that's the way it is. But Miss Saigon.
Yes.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Miss
Yes.
Saigon. This is the first.
This is the premiere show of Miss Saigon.
Oh my God.
And there's a reason why it's the premiere. It's because it's so freaking expensive to do.
Oh, you have to save up all your allowance to get this
I
one?
have to get into my couch, figure out where all the coins are.
But you do
know.
this. The thing is, it's funny because he does this. You put on some incredible productions, and you've discovered so many kids who didn't even know they one were discoverable.
Right. There's so much talent on this island.
Yeah.
As adults, children. I mean, we have a lot of adults who are frustrated performers, and so they find an outlet in our shows. And a lot of them have been professional. So but and a lot of young youth people that are just waiting to be discovered.
But the thing about it is that you put on these productions, and they're like the over-the-top kind of stuff. You don't settle for, the budget script.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to go after. You go after.
Yeah, we try to raise the level. And I work with Chido Santos and Jams Media a lot. And those guys are top of the line on Guam. So and quite a few other people that have been a part of my shows, like Shimbros at one time and Tropical Productions. But
Miss Saigon is a huge
we're
undertaking.
pushing,
It's a big undertaking. Tell me what was the thought process? You just came out of, what was it, Little Mermaid that
the
you
Little
did
Mermaid
that?
Broadway version, yeah.
Okay, so you did the Little Mermaid, and then how soon after that did you go, oh, I have an idea. I'm going to go put myself right back in that same stress zone.
I know. Let me put myself back into the super high blood pressure
No kidding.
stress zone.
Because that's a up there Broadway production.
Yeah,
Miss Saigon.
it's really, really, really high end, and it's classic. It's one of the royal parts of Broadway to do Miss Saigon. Miss Saigon was a part of my life for a very long time. My mom was actually in Saigon, during the war. So my father and mother were there, and my mom was pregnant, and she had escaped in time to get away from the war that was going on there, and I'm the result that I'm alive because of that. So
she was pregnant with you before the fall of Saigon and was able to get out of the country.
Yeah, and so I was born, and here I am today. So it's not that far away. Our history is so intertwined with what happened in the Vietnam War, and I'm not that old, so it's very recent.
And Guam played a major part, so there's not anybody who doesn't understand, what that war was about on Guam at that time.
Right.
We were also a staging area for troops and for equipment.
Yes, and refugees had to come in here to get processed and to get help, and the immigration process to get them protection and sanctuary in the United States. Yeah. And my parents were kind of a part of that.
So how did somebody take the fall of Saigon or the war in Vietnam and transform it into a musical? And that's the thing.
There's a beautiful picture, and it's heart-wrenching, this picture, and it's the picture that inspired the creation of Miss Saigon. It's a picture of a mother who's letting go of her half-caste child, a daughter of a military man. and she's letting her go, and she never sees her again. And that was the picture that was taken. And the little girl goes to America, and the mom stays in Vietnam, and who knows what happened to her after the war, right? Because the Viet Cong totally took all of these people who were allies and re-educated them, put them into camps, concentration camps. They tortured them. A lot of my mom's friends who were left behind in the exchange, they were murdered. They were hacked. And I'm going to say this is kind of scary, but they were hacked to death by machete. So it was a really horrible, torturous experience if you were part of the military or supporting the military. So, that's the picture that they saw, and they pulled inspiration from that. And it was just the most amazing collaboration of how to tell the story in a very respectful way. Yeah.
So what's the storyline for Miss Saigon?
Okay, so it's really beautiful, and because of that picture of the mom letting go of her child, and that happened a lot. They wrote a beautiful story about a love story about a young Vietnamese girl whose family is murdered, and she finds solace at the military base in Saigon, and she falls in love with a young military boy, and they get married, fall in love overnight. True fairy tale story, and she is left behind during the fall of Saigon after the Viet Cong attacked. And there's a whole story about the survivors who were there, and they saw the horror at the American embassy of everyone trying to rush the gates and trying to push down the American embassy gates, trying to get to the helicopters, and that's
which were shuttling people.
Yeah, and that was the only way to get out. And at one point they said they saw the last helicopter come, and they knew it was the last one, and people were desperate, crawling over each other, pushing each other, smashing into each other, just trying to
get themselves or their children on board, right?
Or their kids. They were trying to give their kids away to the military, and the military, of course, you only have so much space, so they prioritized a lot of the military personnel first, and a lot of people were left behind. Yeah.
And so this is the story of being left behind.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's such a tragic, dramatic,
historical view. Perspective of what could have happened, a plausible way of the things that could have happened during that fall.
Yeah.
So scary, I know. My God.
So the first time this show was presented on Broadway, back in the 90s?
Back in the 90s. It started in the West End.
Okay.
Yeah, and we even have a person, a original cast member who played in the
original
European
cast of the
tour.
first. Okay.
Yeah, to come to Guam to perform with us.
So somebody who's done it before on the original stage
with Lea Salonga.
Yeah. How cool is that?
So he'll be here.
Okay, you really went all out then.
Yes, we went all out.
Yeah, how did you snag him?
I have a friend here, CJ Orkiko.
Yeah.
I think I said that right. I'm not sure. But,
Orkiko, we went with Orkiko.
Orkiko.
But it's Quico, right?
Yeah, Quico.
It's like a Filipino name, Chinese name. You said
both, I guess, both together.
I don't think they're going to get mad at us. What if it's your Kiko?
I know, right? It's your Kiko, my
Kiko. Okay.
But CJ messaged me one day, and he said my uncle was one of the main cast members, or original.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Can I introduce you to him?" And it just went. I was like, "No, don't do that."
What a waste! What a waste of my time.
and then Jojo or Quico, his uncle, was so wonderful, and he totally is going to do this with us.
So how did you build this? First things first. How did you get the rights? I mean, you clearly had to have some support to pay for the rights.
Right. The rights were purchased by Broadway Guam, and Broadway Guam consists of 6 executive producers: Max Ronquillo, Margie Dancel, Claire Calvo, Ruby Jane Buhane, Gary Encarnacion, DJ Cure for Megamix, and myself. So we put our money together and purchased the rights on our own.
Wow. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, as a company. So Broadway Guam. Yeah.
All right. And so do they have an issue or a certain thing? Are there certain requirements that are like stage and you know what I mean? Are they picky about the
Yes.
costumes.
Well, it's we bought the rights from Music Theater International in New York
Right.
City, and they're very, very focused on making sure that the production is high quality. So we
Right.
are completely trying to pull out all stops,
Yeah,
right?
to
And
make this happen,
yeah,
yeah.
and
But
we
that like includes lighting and all that, stage
yes,
size
yes,
and things.
yes, everything,
And
lighting, sound,
costumes?
costumes. I was in the Philippines, as you know,
Yeah.
for many weeks. And I was there, even though I had a gallbladder infection and I had to go through major
Nearly
surgery.
lost his life. But
Nearly
you know,
lost
he's
my
like,
life.
I'm going to go
I
get
must
these
go to the
things.
Visoya and get costumes.
He's the theater god.
I was like, I have to go and finish this, no matter what my major illness may be. So, yeah.
So you went and did all of that.
I got all of that
the specs.
done.
Everything is to spec then. That's pretty cool.
As close as we can with the budget that we have.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Miss Saigon, I mean, a major Broadway production is in the millions of dollars as far as budget. And, you know, Guam is not exactly close to
company's not
that.
there yet.
We're not yet there. But so we estimate around $50,000 to $80,000 for this event.
Well, that's a lot of money.
It is.
That's huge money right there. So we wanted to give you an opportunity
Yes.
to see and learn about the production. We're going to take a break here. We come back because he utilizes as much local talent as he can get his hands on,
Yes.
and he does this. You must have like a roster.
Oh, yeah, the roster is pretty long. And, yeah, sometimes I have to go to their house and beat down the door.
If they don't answer the phone,
And I don't mind because, you know, on Guam, nothing's too far.
we're talking with Ernest Ochoco. You're the director of the
Artistic director, yeah.
Miss Saigon, coming to a stage near you. We'll tell you all about it after this. And we are back. Something to talk about, and thank you so much. We have ordered you did a really healthy thing with the egg whites, and
Oh, yeah.
that's the
It's
almond.
so
This is
good.
the breakfast menu here. Brown rice. That's
Brown
good.
rice with egg whites, and I'm trying to, that blood pressure needs to go down. When you're in this kind of business,
I know, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say, because this is obviously this labor of love that puts your own health in jeopardy.
Oh my God.
That's what you do. This is the kind of
Yeah.
stuff that you do.
Over 350 shows and events now,
Oh
so
my God.
it's been a long time.
How many kids? How many cast members have you
in
taken
total?
on? Yeah, that
Oh
you
my
have.
God, thousands and thousands
Yeah,
of people.
because you've done as many of those productions you've had. You've also discovered local talent.
Oh, yeah.
In every single one of them.
Yes.
Like in large amounts, or you have your pool of talent, and then you just sort of.
Everyone has something that they can offer, so there's quite a few people who have talents in certain things.
Yeah.
Because when you do theater, it's not just the cast that's on stage; it's also the backstage cast, and there's usually for a regular musical that I do, it's around 100 plus people who are involved in some way, shape, or form, including orchestra and production work and cast work, backstage, all of that stuff running through. So yeah, we've got a lot of people that we find here, and we talked about this once before. There's not much difference between our people and the way our DNA is made and the way the DNA is made in the States.
Yeah.
It's not that much of a difference. We have the abilities, the talents, the natural talents that are already inherent in us. We're such a singing society.
Yeah.
The islands
Yeah.
are very into music and singing. That's how we
Yeah.
used to tell our stories. So
That's part
indigenous
of our culture.
people, yeah, absolutely. So it's ingrained in us, and it's just finding a way to pull that out of people. So yeah.
But there's a reluctance to do that sometimes, especially if you're working with the younger kids. It's a little bit. You got to convince them that they've got this talent, right? First of all.
Thank God I have a lot of background in psychology with mental health. 16 years of voluntary work there as a counselor. So it's trying to figure out the angle to get them to be inspired. To inspire them so that they believe in themselves.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to sound like a freaking
No, but that's true, though. I mean, you can't get them to do something if they don't feel like they can do it.
right,
That's
right,
right.
And sometimes you got to push them.
Yeah, but you
know.
do it in a way where they don't know that they're being manipulated in that
Yeah,
form, right?
in
And
that
I don't mean
right
manipulation in a bad way, but
Yeah.
that, yeah.
And helping them, guiding them to figure
Yeah.
out what their best talent is and how to bring out their different talents. So
Well, the opposite is true if you get somebody who shows up for an audition who is maybe has some confidence and that is not has the confidence, but
But
their particular skill set is not needed,
performance.
needed
just
in
say
this
it.
particular production. You have to
They
gently
just sound
turn them
bad.
You have to sort of turn them away gently without breaking their world.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
But
this production is all adults, though, right? I'm looking.
quite a few adults, and we have some pictures here that we're looking at. We've been looking at, but some of them are adults, some of them are professionals. Like for example, Irissa here and Crystal Paco, they're all professionals. They've done shows before, and then we have some students. The GATE program is also involved in this, so I have quite a few GATE students
Why
as well.
you needed children on this set?
Yeah, we just need. Yeah, we need.
Okay.
I don't like Village of the Damned looking
yeah,
shows where
yeah.
everyone's the same age.
Yeah.
So we
Village of
you know that movie, right? Village
yeah,
of the Damned. But so I like to have different ages. So community productions are usually what I do. So all the way from 3 years old, we have a 3-year-old,
Wow.
all the way up to 68. Linda Frank.
Ah, yeah.
So
Linda Frank.
she's always
Linda
there.
Frank is either on stage or she's on the side of the stage,
Right.
backstage. But she's always got a presence in everything that you
And
do.
everything that I do.
Yeah.
She's like my muse now.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, is Linda in the show? Where is she? You're in the show now.
Yeah.
If you're not,
There you are. You're in the show.
Yeah.
So Miss Saigon is going to be showing during the holiday. Oh, just the one night or 2 nights?
two nights.
2 nights.
Right. So we have the second and the third for our evening shows. We also have some fun shows for our high schools and middle schools, for our schools and our teachers. So if they want to give a call to Gate Theater, they can do that to inquire about that. And then we have our evening shows, which you can always check out our website, Miss Saigon Guam, MISSSAIGON. That's triple S.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
triple S A
Miss
I
Saigon.
G O.
Yes.
Okay.
AIGION.com.
You're gonna have to rewind the tape.
I know.
know.
MissSaigonGuam.com.
Yeah. Okay, all
And you
one
can
word.
purchase tickets from there. So
Okay.
we have online tickets now. Yeah, we're getting in
Ooh,
there. I
look
know.
at you, so fancy.
Fancy,
But
technical.
so does this goes to benefit anything, anyone, any
Yes,
organization?
the profit, a portion of the profits will go to Erica's House, which fights violence against women. There's some human trafficking issues that are themed into the show, so we want to bring that to light, you know, and especially with the Blue House thing and the girls from Saipan that disappeared.
Yeah.
So we want to bring to light the violence towards women and children and human trafficking, suicide prevention. A lot of people died during this storyline, right, during Saigon. And so we're giving money to Erica's House and Youth for Youth.
Okay, those are important ones.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, because Worked In, which is really interesting because it's a musical, it's drama,
Yes.
and then you intertwined in that. I forgot about the social issues of that day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, human trafficking.
Human trafficking.
When you weren't even identifying it as that at the, you know what I mean? They weren't necessarily identifying it.
No, it
as
wasn't.
that. It's not as much as they.
Right. There was a lot of
describe it.
women that were taken advantage of and manipulated into prostitution in some way, shape, or form, and you never know what happened to them. Some of them disappear. Some of them,
Yeah.
you just don't know, and that's just horrible because it happens around the world,
Yeah.
and it happens on Guam apparently, the Blue House, right?
So the setting clearly in the 70s.
In the 70s, right?
Yeah, during the fall of Saigon, the culture of the Vietnamese people, South Vietnam, and it's intertwining with American soldiers where there were a lot of kids who were left behind or went fatherless for all of their lives
Right.
because there was their interaction between the local women and the military servicemen that produced children. They never married. They left the country, never to come back again. And in some cases, wasn't it true that there were women who didn't even know the names of the GIs that
Right,
they
yes.
had relations with, so their children really never knew what their families were like.
Right, and the kids were always discriminated against in Saigon because they were half white, and
Or half black, for
or
that
half
matter.
black.
Yeah.
For the most part, if they looked different, they would be discriminated against. Right, so
And there was such an anti-American sentiment anyway. So
yeah, especially since the communists were able to take
Yeah,
over,
absolutely.
all those kids were in jeopardy and danger.
Yeah.
So not only did it go into discrimination, but it was very dangerous for these kids to be alive.
yeah.
You know, so they were thought of as a threat, yeah, by
Wow.
the Viet Cong.
Well, so what do you intend to do after Miss Saigon? I know it's hard to ask you what your future is
I know,
after,
right? I'm just
after
like,
your
I'm
brother's
sorry,
hasn't
I know.
even reached its peak, but you know, this is all part of what you do now for a business, and you've got partners where you guys are going to be churning these
Well,
productions out.
there's a whole bunch of things. Now that I'm the Gate Theater director, I just got hired, by the way, by Gate Theater.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
They couldn't pick a better guy.
Thanks. So the one of the shows that I'm still doing all the different shows and the different companies that are hiring me to do shows. So I think the next one might be Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right in time for the release of the live action film.
Oh, yeah. The live action.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's gonna be really big. As you know, we did Beauty and the Beast about half a decade ago, and
Yeah.
we're doing huge castles and all that stuff. So
Man, there's so much that goes. How much time do you have to plan in advance of a production?
oh my God,
I know.
Miss Saigon was like 2 years.
Really? Is that when
Yeah.
you first started talking about? I remember
Yeah.
you told me about it, and then you swore me to secrecy, and I was like,
Yeah, I was like, don't
first
say
thing,
anything.
Don't say anything, but Miss Saigon.
We need the rights first.
Yeah, the possibility of getting that. This is a good fetch. This is a good fetch.
Yeah.
The show dates are December 2nd and 3rd. You have a matinee, and you have an evening
We have the second and
performance.
third at 7 p.m. for seating usually at Southern High Theater.
Okay.
Southern High Theater, because it's so big there, you
Yeah.
know, you can bring in very big props,
Yeah.
maybe even a helicopter. Who
Who
knows?
knows?
Who knows? Helicopter.
You would do a helicopter.
I know, right? Well, we have Cheetos, so
Yeah, there's that. There's
we'll
that.
find out. But it's one of the only spaces that can accommodate the different sets and the amount of sets. We have like 2-story things that are going to move around, and we have clubs and lights and Bangkok scenes and red light districts and all this fun, crazy stuff that's going to go on stage, and people running around shooting things and
Well, it was Saigon. It was that time.
bombs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So a lot
My
of
friend, thank you so much. Good luck.
Oh, thank
As
you.
usual, break a lip, but I know that it always happens and always successful. You've got good backers too, which is nice.
yeah, it's a whole bunch of people, so I've got good teams
Yeah.
in place for stuff like this. So it's not just me; it's a lot of people.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Something to Talk About.